everybody, I'm here with the lovely Shayla, and we're going to be removing these, which was Forever, maybe? I think it's Forever with some golden nugget, which were pretty fun. You can see a little bit closer. Oh, let me turn on the other iPad so we can chat with people. No, that's not it. We are going to be doing her fill. You said you want my nails?
Yes, I want all of them to look like this one.
That one.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what's hilarious is that I did all of these with the mood polish. That's why they have, see if I get the light on it. That's why they ombre from pink to purple, which is really fun. But, but the problem is that when then I was like, oh, I'll just do these ones with a thin layer of this pink glitter. And as you can see, you can't see the ombre under them at all. Like, the glitter was like, I win. So, even though there's mood changing polish under these, all you see is the fuchsia. But if you don't want the mood and you're just interested in the fuchsia, then we'll just go straight to the fuchsia.
Yep. So
that will be good. So we are going to start with removal. And we'll just hang out with y'all for the whole appointment if you're interested. Let me let's go upside down.
You want me to help you? You got
I'm
it?
just trying to keep it plugged in because otherwise it's gonna be a mess.
This is too cool.
Hey everyone, Sharon, Megan, hi guys. All right, so I'm gonna turn the fan on so it's gonna get a little bit louder. I'm using a zebra sanding band. I'm gonna change it. I think that one had a funny bump on it. Every now and then they, you get one weird one, but not very often. What I learned this week from someone is that zebra bands, people have always wondered, you know, what's the difference between a zebra file or a zebra band? You know what I found out? There are particles of silicone on them that reduce heat. That's why they don't get so hot. Who knew? I thought that was a handy little tidbit of information. Mm-hmm. So I love these zebra bands. They're coarse, which allows me to get in there pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And these are, of course, on my website. So she didn't have a lot of grout, so I'm not really taking much off. She likes them long. She likes to be long and fabulous.
Yes, yes. Because when you're pointing at people, they know it's serious.
Yeah. All right, you get to be in charge of reading things.
Okay.
You can see.
So you said hello to everybody, and then Miss Megan, hello there. She said, I had one catch on the edge of a client's nail and come apart, and the sandpaper flew across the room, and she's laughing. And then Miss Juanita says, hello from Ontario, Canada. Hello up there.
Hello.
And I love watching your videos. Have missed them.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I've been slacking on the video front. Honestly, my iPad had been dead, and I just kept forgetting to plug it in. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, I should video this, but, you know, my iPad's dead, so can't do that. Mm-hmm. But I want to show you guys the new colors that have come in from the Avant-Garde collection, so I needed to make sure I charged it. And then I thought, oh, Shayla's here. Yay! And we have some fans of Shayla, I know, on YouTube, so.
I have a ball coming here with everybody. And so Miss Hope said hello as well.
Hello, Hope.
This is cool. And Miss Megan asked, do you use your iPad to video and your phone for comments?
No, the other way around. My phone is for video because it's on a mount, and my iPad's for comments.
And that's what she typed. That's what Miss Megan typed. Or the other way around.
Yeah. Phone for, yeah, the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Had a heater on, had to turn it off.
That's right. And Miss Kim said hi from the UK. We are on lockdown and can't do clients. I'm sorry.
I know, you guys. You guys are still on lockdown, which is crazy. But I was wondering, you know, the other day I was like, how can these poor nail techs be on lockdown for so long? Like Do they have really good, you know, unemployment insurance? How is it working? And from what I was reading, they get about 80% of their income. So that's not bad. Okay. That's a lot better than what we have here.
Oh, that wouldn't happen here.
So that's good. Hey, maybe you guys are getting some stuff done. I know I have projects that we were supposed to have a vacation in February that, of course, there's nowhere to go. Right. So now I'm just going to do projects that I would have done under quarantine. Right. You know, I got swatches to repaint and things like that. So I want to redo all of my Luxio and option swatches, and it'll take me a full week just to get through those, working all day, every day, and making my daughter clean all of them.
I love it.
So she'll be hanging out with me all day, and we'll be re-swatching.
Mother-daughter time.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe if I'm smart, I'll video it and then take clips and put them on the color online. That would be really smart.
I would think so, yes, please.
Maybe I'll make her do the clips part.
Yes, see, there we go. That's called delegation.
I'll just keep the video running. Maybe I'll just use her phone and then she can take the clip and put it online.
And she is a brilliant little business
lady. She is, you know.
She's excellent.
We're just going to keep her working and training her to do life.
Yeah, that's old school
stuff. I know, it's like...
Shoot.
This day and age, she's almost done. Last I heard, she was like almost done with her language arts book. So my daughter's homeschooling with workbooks this year. She did an online homeschool last year and she didn't love it. It was kind of just too young for her, and they'd kind of cover a subject and then it's like they would beat it through the nose. And so she was just, she didn't want to spend that much time on a lesson when she got it. And so she wanted to switch to workbooks, which our other friends who homeschool have been doing forever.
Yeah.
So she's doing workbooks, and yeah, it's almost some of their language arts. And yesterday she was reading her history book I got her, which is not a textbook, but it's on Augustus, and it reads kind of like a novel, but then they add in like historical facts and information. And the other day I was like, how's your history book? She's like, oh, I just learned about how the calendar was made. So it kind of throws stuff in, which is pretty cool. And then yesterday I said, how's your history book going? She goes, everybody's dying. People are dying.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, you know, you got to die for more people to make new history, I guess.
Real history. I need that workbook about that calendar because I don't have a clue. That's very cool.
But it was just a little part of this Augustus book, you know. So that was pretty interesting. All right, so while doing her nails, she doesn't really have a lot of lifting, but she does have a little smidge. Dust, hold on.
And Miss Juanita said, same here. All of Ontario was on lockdown, started December 26th, was extended again until February 11th at this point. We'll see.
So there's a little tiny bit of lifting, if you can see that right there. So one of the mistakes I see people make is that they angle their e-file and then they try to draw a line, and you can create a ring of fire. So I do what's called massaging it out, and I just lightly feather it until it flies off. Do you guys see that? It's gone. So what that does is it protects the integrity of their natural nail so they don't get any ring of fire. Same thing on this corner. I'm just massaging it from the back. So from the part that has all gel, you massage it until it just flies away. Okay? That's how you get rid of a little bit of lift, and that's all she's got. She didn't have any on the other ones. So that might have been good information for somebody. I love when I think of something to talk about.
It's cool. I love learning what the techniques that you're doing.
Make sure when you're doing your e-file, you're keeping your bit flat. And I go over the surface side to side. And don't spend a whole bunch of time in the middle. You don't want to take down your whole arch. You want to keep a little bit of an arch. With her nails, she's got natural nails with gel overlay over them. And I fill them every time. But I'm not having to finish file. So you guys will see me fill these without finish filing because that's too much work. And I will kill my shoulder and not be able to do nails very long if that's how I work. And I think Shayla wants me to keep doing her nails.
Absolutely. If you don't do them, I'm done. I told you we're out the game without you.
Again, little tiny lift just in this corner. That's it.
This is cool. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get back to my job. And so Hope says, wow, this is satisfying. I know, Hope. I'm looking at the screen enjoying myself too. Okay. And Jay says, how number is your Elfie set? What number is your Elfie set at?
It's not. I'm on a where is that question?
Right here.
E-file setup. Okay. She called it Elfie.
I can't see.
I'm like, my Elfie?
Yeah,
what are you
like,
talking about?
There's an Elfie here. I'm
That's
sorry,
hilarious.
I can't see because of glare, y'all.
My e-file, it's not set in a number. I have it completely maxed out, and I am on a foot pedal. So as I go around the edges, I can slow it down, and when I'm working on the top like this, or when I'm shortening, I can blast it up to full speed. So if you're not on a foot pedal, I highly, highly recommend it. It's such a time saver because when I'm doing this part, I can just press all the way down, and it's just going to work it all the way off. And then as I get closer to their skin, I'll typically slow it down a little bit just for control. And all it is like driving a car. If you can drive a car, you can ride your foot pedal because it's the same idea. And it really gives you just so much more control. I can go as slow as I want and as fast as I want just by pressing my foot up and down. And you don't even think about it. Just like when you're driving a car, when you slow down, do you really think about, oh, I gotta lift my foot off the gas? No, you just do it. Same thing with using a foot pedal. So if you have an e-file already, and if you have a Coupa like this one, I don't know about other brands, but I know if you have a Coupa, and say you got the Passport, which is pretty common, the Passport comes with a battery pack, which is very handy to have. I use the battery pack one when I'm doing toes. But then you can just get the KP 5000 box, which looks like, hold on, I'll see if I can show you. See if I can take this away. Come on.
I'm trying.
All right, this is my KP 5000 box right there. So that will, now the phone was yelling at me for turning. That box allows me to plug in my handset and a foot pedal on the back. So you can use, if you have a Passport, you can get a box and be able to use both your battery pack and the 5000 box. So if you only have one e-file, which I always recommend having two, lovely Jessica White didn't have two and learned the hard way this week when she broke a bit off in her handpiece and it has to go in for repair. She doesn't have a backup. So she ordered a new one, sending in the other one. Now she'll have a backup, which is always really important because sometimes things happen and your e-file stops working and you're going to have to hand file till you get it fixed if you don't have a backup. So I recommend if you want to get a backup, then the next one you get it with the KP 5000 box. And then you can still interchange your handpiece between your battery pack and your box. But then you've got your box and then you just get the foot pedal.
And Jay has another question. Which product do you use for my nails?
Trinity. I do most of my fills with Trinity. When I'm building out a new nail, I will typically use Natural, which is our old school UV gel, to build out the arch and the extension. It's a little bit more rigid than Trinity, and it's a little bit thicker viscosity, so it's an easier to apply product to create your extension. But once they're natural nails growing under it, you don't need that extra rigidity. Trinity works perfectly fine, and it's fabulous for your fills. So I will typically do all of my fills with Trinity.
I'm sitting here watching the screen mesmerized. Like, this is fun.
Like these aren't your hands?
Like it's not my, but I'm like, this is cool. Do you upload to YouTube as well?
I do. I upload to YouTube after the fact, so I have quite a few followers that are on YouTube that not necessarily on Facebook. So they can't interact live. It would be nice if I could be like, play live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram and have all the comments in one place. So I'll be really happy when someone creates that ability. But for now, we go live on Facebook and answer questions, and then everyone on YouTube can ask questions in the comments on the video. So I answer those questions there.
That's cool. Jay has another question for you.
Yeah.
I had a problem with the Trinity when building on a curved nail. Someone else suggested the natural kink.
Yes.
Not actually a question, but
That's exactly what I use to build my extensions with. So I did a full set the other day, and I would have reported it, but she was new. She doesn't know how my videos work. You know,
I introduce us slowly.
Yeah, I have to introduce them slowly sometimes.
Ease us in. That's funny.
But she, all right, let's see if we can adjust, get you in frame. I think we're good. All right. So what was I saying? A new set. So yeah, building it out. So if I'm building a new nail, I will reach in to my handy dandy drawer and grab my natural pink, which looks like this. And it is a UV gel. So it's a bit thicker viscosity. Obviously it's not self-leveling like Trinity does. So when I'm building a new extension, it's my favorite. It has the most just soft flow. It's really, really, really easy to work with. But it doesn't have bonding gel in it like Trinity does. So you'll need to put your bonding gel down before. So what I've been doing lately, just because I've been lazy, is I just grab my Trinity, which has bonding gel in it. I'll stick Trinity down. Then I'll do my arch area. So basically I do my natural in this shape where my pink is. That's where I put my natural. I create my arch and my extension. And then I go through on my second step and fill in this area with Trinity. So that's how I create my full sets.
This is fun.
So give him a good push, 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 push. This is when you can really see how much grow out she actually has. It's really, you know, if you do a really good job with prepping and pushing back the cuticles and getting that prepped really well, you'll get at least another week of wear, you know, as over the next 24 hours as the cuticles kind of cover the nail again. You'll get a whole week where they see no grow out whatsoever. And so it's really important to do this. And when I see pictures of people, oh, I just did so-and-so's nails, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you did not even push back their cuticles. They're going to look like they grow out on day 2. So it's really important.
And Jay said thank you. I just want to make sure you know.
You're so welcome. All right. So now I'm going to prep. This is my very favorite 2S bit. And I've just replaced most of them because I try to replace them every 3 to 6 months or so. But what was happening is clients were starting to get hot. And if your clients are starting to notice heat when you're using this bit, most of the time it means the bit has gotten too smooth and you're on the nail longer than you really need to be, which causes heat. So if your clients start saying that it's getting hot when you're on their nail, change your bit, get a new bit. That's going to really make a big difference. So that's the way to tell. How do I know when? Because when you look at it, when you feel it, you're like, oh, there's grit on there. But your clients can feel it more. So if they can feel it, then you know what's up. So I like to get all the way over to the side, come up to the top.
I saw a woman the other day was ringing me up, and she was like, oh, I love your nails. And I was like, oh, I'd go get them done in 2 days. She said, what? I thought those were brand new. I said, that's why you go to Jess, darling.
Yeah, when you don't have the grow out too fast, it really helps. You don't want them to look grown out. You want them to be able to go 3 weeks without a big problem.
And most of us learned we could actually go a little longer if it's necessary without being hysterical about it.
Well, you go 3 to 4 on average. And most people do. So, you know, and it becomes a thing where people go, oh, you pay how much for nails? But, you know, it's like, okay, well, you go every 2 weeks, and how much do you pay?
Right.
I go once a month, and this is how much I pay. So I'm actually paying less each month than you are.
Yeah, and you got questions too, darling. So Miss Megan would like to know, where did you get that bit?
Oh, this is from Love Nails.
Oh, I love
Everything I use, you can find on my web store. So lovenails.com. I keep just an insane amount of these in stock, so I typically don't run out because I try to always have lots and lots. Because once people have tried this, they love it. So I always have like 3 in my sanitizing tray, just so I'm ready to go. But once I discovered this bit, see how it lifts up that cuticle area really nice? It helps push it back and cleans it so well because of the shape of that front of the bit. You know, if you use a round bit, something like a skiver, I didn't like those because they're round. They don't slide underneath the front of the nail very well, and it chews it up, and it would drive me crazy. And so I didn't use them because it would create rings of fire, and it would not get as far into the prep as I wanted. So if you have someone, hers are not stuck, but if you have someone that has very stuck cuticles where you can't even push it out, go over it first with the bit, push them, and then go over it again. It takes one extra step, but that first time it kind of releases it from the natural nail. Helps get it unstuck.
And so Miss Megan blew you a kiss and said thank you.
Oh,
and
so
Sharon said did not know that about the drill bit. She loves that one. And Miss Tanya says, I have a Koopa UP200. Where would I plug in a foot pedal?
UP200. I am not sure which one the 200 is. Because this one's a KP36, which is old school. I don't even think they sell it anymore. There's the new Passports. I would have to look at the plug. Send me a personal message and a picture of what your plug looks like, and I can tell you when you show me the plug if it will plug into a foot pedal box, because I just can't see it without seeing the plug.
And Miss Megan also says she feels the same way about round bits.
Yeah, round bits are just not great for prepping. Now, the only exception is the super tiny, like, mini footballs, or the 459 is really tiny. I use that for toes, and those are okay, but they're also flat. And if you look at her nail here, her nail is not flat. This bit goes at the same angle as her nail, so it gives you the perfect prep. Whereas if you were using a flat bit, what's going to happen? You're going to end up going straight into the nail and end up with a ring of fire, which we don't want.
And Miss Tanya said, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I love everybody so narrow.
I love all the questions.
Yeah, and they got good, man. You guys
Give me more. Give me more questions.
Yes, keep it coming.
That's the hardest part about doing these videos sometimes, guys, is that if no one asks questions, I feel like I'm just talking in circles.
Well, when in doubt, what's your sign?
Do you know we have sign stamping plates? We have a stamping plate for every single sign. So if you're into the zodiac stuff, cool. We do have stamping plates for every single zodiac sign.
That is cool.
Now, she's got pretty good cuticles. There's almost nothing kind of flying at my face, so I don't really have to do a whole lot. This one's kind of flying out. I'll just take care of that. But for the most part, everything looks good and kosher. This is a little bit funny right here. So you can take your bit and you can soften this skin here that's doing this. And if you have, she doesn't really have many, but if you have someone that has little calluses right here on their corners, you can use your little bit to go in there and smooth that out, just like if they were getting their feet done, and it'll make the corners of their finger much softer. Ooh. She has a little bit right here, so this is what I'm saying. If you come through and you just soften this like this real quick, it doesn't take very long, but it's going to make their fingers feel better. So
thank you.
That's one thing that I will do, especially in the winter. You'll notice it more often. So just do that with your little bit. All right, we are ready to file.
And Miss Sharon says she just ordered your nippers. Game changer.
They are a game changer. These nippers are the bomb diggity. I love them. They are the Stalex Pro, and these are the 37, which means it's got a much longer jaw, but we also have the 35, which is a little bit shorter. Both of them work beautifully. And so these are on my website. Started carrying them because I loved them so very much. I needed to have them at all times.
And then Miss Jessie says, love seeing the client get the knowledge. Like, I'm really excited up in here. Thank you, Miss Jessie.
Ah, Jessie.
This is cool.
We like Jessie. He's a great teacher. Mm-hmm. He is going to teach in Spanish at our next nail camp, which is yet to be announced. So if you are a nail camp follower, you guys pay attention to the Facebook group and the website over the next week. I hope to have some new exciting information. That's all I'm going to say till I get my contract signed, and I'm praying that they get it to me today. So,
okay, so you got some more comments. Miss Megan said, ooh, a real spring. And I'm thinking maybe, is that this?
It's this, yeah, it's a spring in it. And why I love that is because with the double action, I don't even have one anymore in my thing. I used to keep one in there for taking crystals off. But with the double action one, those are the ones that have the two things that fit together. I would it would constantly be separated, and I'd have to sit there and like put it back together and use it, and then put it back together and use it, and I hated it. So when I found, so then I used a single spring, and those were okay, but they didn't keep, or a single action. Those are okay, but they didn't have a spring back like this does. These are just genius. So they come direct from the Ukraine. It was quite a project when we had to go pick up the shipment because Jared had to go to the airport to get these. It took him 8 hours to get these from the airport.
That's our sweetie right there.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Okay, and then Miss Courtney Collins. Hey, that's my last name too. Here's a question. Can you consider doing a video with someone who has large, flat nail beds? Not the typical, I am not typical. I'm messing with you, darling.
I would love to. It really just depends on who walks in my door. I don't schedule my videos. I don't plan them out. I just get started and say, hey, you want to be a video today? And we do it. So when it comes to creating a new set on large flatbeds, I'd have to have someone that's like, I would like to come in and be your model for the large flatbeds. So that's where it becomes a little bit tricky. But again, when you have a large flat bed, the big difference is just making sure you have a good arch. You know, that's when you're building an extension. When you have an overlay, the arch is not as important. But when you are building an extension out, definitely important. You need the extra strength. So when I'm filing here, I'm going around the cuticle. Typically, I'll go around the cuticle first. And then I will come and file straight down the front. This is preserving my arch and thinning out the free edge. And then going through the sidewalls, I start flat and I roll over. Vicki Peters move. We love Vicki. She just had a birthday in heaven. We miss her. I can't believe she's been gone. She's been gone. See, I met Jared right around the time Vicki got sick. So the last time I saw her, we were talking about him, and I was like, oh, I met a guy. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, tell me. And I was like, well, he's into games and camping, and he's really cute, has like kind of longish hair and all this stuff. And she's like, did you order him?
I know that's right. Build-A-Bear.
I know it was. He was like a Build-A-Bear. So that was what I remember of the last like fun in-person conversation I had with Vicki, is asking me if I ordered Jared. So
right on. That's sweet. And Jessie said thank you as well, and then Megan said it. She agreed it's annoying when these nippers come apart. And,
yes.
And Jay said, heard she was such a sweetheart. I wish I had met her.
She was. And she loved doing the nail cruise over her birthday. It just, well, I mean, she would say that, oh, I didn't plan it over my birthday. It's like, whatever. You know, we would always make a big hoo-ha on her birthday and have cake. And sometimes before we'd leave, we'd all kind of pitch in and get her a gift. And so it was, I mean, who doesn't want to have a birthday party on a cruise ship with all their friends every year? Yeah. I mean, it's so smart. So typically the end of January, we would all be on the ship and enjoy a cruise with her. So I got to celebrate, I think, 4 of her birthdays on cruise ships with her. So it was pretty fun.
And then Miss Megan also said, he's the best panda for you, Jen. I know that's an inside joke.
You don't know the panda joke?
Yes, I remember you telling me about panda. I don't remember the whole joke, but I remember it was an inside joke.
Well, at nail camp, since we got a lot of time to go. Yeah, so at nail camp one year, right after we got married, we were at camp, and you know, we were having our evening team game, and they decided that they were going to do the newlywed game with us. And so they had asked Jared a whole bunch of questions before dinner, and then they were like, all right, Jess, this is what we're doing for a game today. And I'm like, oh no. So each table had to vote on an answer for what they think Jared would say. I voted what, maybe they didn't vote, maybe they just helped me. So they asked him a bunch of questions, and then I had to answer what I thought the answer was. Some of the favorites were, how much has Jess spent at one time on nail supplies?
Oh, shit. Excuse me. I'm on Facebook.
And And he said $50.
Aw.
To which every nail tech in the room started busting up laughing hysterically.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, I'm like, I went downstairs after the end of the show and I said, honey, this is $70.
Yeah, one jar, baby. Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah. He had no idea.
Yeah, it was a different ball game.
Yeah. So that was pretty funny. So the panda thing came from the much more risque question of what kind of animal do you think you are in bed?
Aww.
So this is what...
Isn't that...
So then Jared says, a panda. And I'm like...
That's my man right
You know,
there.
and everybody in the audience is shouting, rabbit, cheetah, lion, you know, all these other...
That's why I love Jared.
Animals.
I love Jared.
And he says, a panda. And I'm like, what? A panda?
That's my man. He's warm, fuzzy, cuddly, right?
He's like, yeah, that's what he said. He's like, I don't know, they're cuddly. And I'm like, you're not cuddly. I was like,
that's why I love Jared. I'll tell you.
It's too funny. So, yeah, so for everyone calls him Panda now.
As they should.
Yeah, but what is really funny, why on earth would he come up with the word panda? So the next day, right after camp, I go to take Larissa to her school bus. And I pull up to the front of the bus, and she gets out, and I'm looking at the side of the bus where she goes and walks in the door, and there is a panda on the side of the bus. So you know that whole, like...
A synchronicity, baby.
Well, it's, you know, where it's that suggested learning type of thing. He was seeing a panda every single day. I'm like, this is how people rob banks. Like, they... Like, on all those movies where they, like, suggest different things, like, now you see me, and they, like, kept suggesting things to make someone say something. So true.
It is.
It's crazy. So, yeah, he was seeing a panda every day, so panda was the first animal that came to his mind.
That is so...
Isn't that funny?
That is sweet. I remember your first date. Remember
I do remember.
We were choosing the stuff.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Shayla was there.
No, the last client.
Yeah, and so I was going straight from the salon to his place. It was his birthday party. And we were trying to decide what to wear. Do I wear these boots or those boots? I don't know.
So he's been our hubby ever since.
So we're just working with the shape of her nail here a little bit. It looks like she has a little bit missing on the side. It's gotten a little bit twisted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this and show you guys how I'm going to fix this. I'm going to pull this out so that it's coming correctly straight, because it started leaning this way and I want it to be coming that way.
Thank you.
So I will show you guys how I fix that.
And Jay said, and with the nail stuff, LOL, the dream. I think he's talking about Jared. Yeah, he's a sweetie pie.
So one of the things that you have to look at when you have longer nails is, are their nails curling down? Like if they have this kind of a hook situation, this is, I feel like, how coffin shape came to be. People that were growing them very long and had them hooked. If you file from underneath to bring them straight out and they're hooked down, it's naturally going to create a coffin shape. So I feel like in a way that's probably how coffin shape kind of started happening, because it's the only way to get that hook from not being hooked and not resculpting the nails out. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be extremely coffin, but just by bringing up the hook, it's going to naturally create that coffin shape. Yes?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. From Miss Tracy, is this an acrylic fill?
No, this is all gel. I only really do gel. I don't really do acrylic unless I'm competing. So I'm not an acrylic girl. I live in Washington. I don't know how it is in most states, but it is very much a gel place. There are a couple places you can go to get acrylic, but it is a gel-friendly area for sure. So no, this is all gel. All gel all the time. Did you have gel before you came to me?
No, I didn't have anything.
Oh.
You got me all hooked up. It's sexy. Remember, I was only getting French tips, and you told me we were going to get out of that?
Yes. I tend to do that.
And it worked. And so now we can tell everybody I just come in and copy your nails.
That's true. If my nails are different, she's like, oh, that looks good.
Yes,
let's do that.
And then when she doesn't have them changed by my next visit, I'm like, come on, Jess.
I know. Then she doesn't know quite what to do.
Right. Now I got to
But I have 2 options of nails, and she chose the glittery one.
Mm-hmm.
Which really, the undercolor, we can pick anything because
make it bright.
Because the glitter just wins.
Yep.
Wins
it's so
a lot.
Pretty.
Oh, thanks, Kara.
That's why I copy them, Miss Kara. You don't have to do no thinking when you come in, and hers are poppy. You just choose those.
Kara, if you're going out to Tanya's place today, Jared forgot this new little drywall tool I got him, and I bet he would think it would be so amazing to have it. So if you happen to be going to Tanya's, make a loop this way and then go over I-90.
I love it. And
she works with Jared. She's the designer for the house.
Oh, hi, Miss Kara. I've heard your name before. Hello there.
Yeah.
And Miss Megan said your nails are always fabulous. Jay said, I'd like to get better with timing. I feel like I take too long. I am a perfectionist. We appreciate that.
Yes, I understand that too. And I feel like a lot of the time with timing, this is something I've had to teach a lot of nail techs, is that if you give yourself 2 hours, you're going to take up all 2 hours, especially when you're a perfectionist. If you give yourself an hour, you're going to figure out how to get your time down. And so a lot of working on timing is giving yourself a challenge. If you don't give yourself any kind of challenge of, okay, yeah, I need to make sure that my timing is better, then you're never going to reduce it. So I'm just checking length on each of these. Looks like this one's just a little long. Just a smidge, not even a week.
And Kara responded, haha, I'm not
heading to Marble Sourcing downtown. Okay.
She says she'll make the time if he needs it.
He doesn't need it. It's just a very handy little tool. So, you know, when you put drywall in and you have to put outlets in, you have to cut out the hole for the outlet. And what am I doing? It's the wrong one. Make sure this is, I want these 3 to be about the same. So if you shorten one, you got to check the others because you don't want to have these nails shorter than these. Anyway, so it cuts the outlet out by, well, what it is it's like a magnet that you put onto the new outlet. Then you put your drywall up, and then another magnet sticks to the other magnet on the outside of the drywall, and then you can just draw around it. So then you know exactly where to cut out for a perfect thing. So it's a pretty nifty little tool. I'll have to watch the first of this when you get done. I came on just as you were saying something about coffin and a hook. So yeah, what I was saying was that if you have someone that has very hooked nails, hers are a little bit hooked, you can see here. If you come up underneath to straighten them, and I'm going to do this one just because I'm fixing this one anyway. But if you come up underneath to make them come out straight, she's missing the sidewall here, so I'm going to be adding product here. But typically what it does is it naturally will create a coffin nail. So, all right, just making sure these are good and clean. Just make sure you're scrubbing just on the nail. You don't want to be pulling any oils from the skin onto their finger. And I'm using Prep and Wipe. You can use any alcohol-based cleaner as long as it doesn't have scent in it. I would suggest not using Scrub Fresh because people have had a lot of lifting problems over the years with that. So, all right, and then I'm going to get my handy-dandy little brush. I'm going to get a form out.
Let me get my ovens ready and my positioning.
And some scissors. Always good to have your scissors out when you go to do a form because almost always, especially when I want the form to go way up here, I need to be cutting nice and deep down. And you can see some color difference here. This is because I had used Trinity coverage at one point, And you can see there's a little bit of Trinity coverage still in all of these. And I haven't been doing it for a while, so they're all grown out to like here. I've been using just the clear. But that's why there's a little color difference there, because it's the coverage pink. When those came out, I was playing with them a lot. All right.
I thought it was my biotin. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. Look, it's just changing colors and growing.
All right, so I cut out to get nice and deep. We'll see if we can get far enough. That looks pretty good. And my goal is to make sure that this is tucking as close to the form as possible. Now, it's pretty impossible to do it exactly because her nail is arching here. So you can't make your form arch. So you've got to tuck it here and make it touch in the front. But because this is where it's missing product, it's never going to be touching right here. So don't freak out that you have a little gap here, because it's impossible to make your form fit like this, you know what I mean? So make sure it's tucking here and it's tucking in the front, and then this is going to be where I fill in.
And Miss Brooke would like to know, do you still like the Trinity covers?
I like them. What I noticed was a little bit more pocket lifting after like a couple of months, which is why I had stopped using them as my regular fill product. I do have one client that comes in every 2 weeks like clockwork, and I still use it on her because she likes her nails super, 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 super pinky. So we do the coverage, cool pink, and then I still put delicate over the top of it because she wants them so pink. But for my regular fills, I found that this classic Trinity doesn't pocket lift, but the coverage did after a couple of months. So not on everybody, because look, if this wasn't here, if this had pocket lifted, you wouldn't see any of it here. So this one must have, because there's none right here. But, and thumbs pocket lift for a lot of people, so that's not super unreasonable. But yeah, I just didn't want to deal with that. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to roll out my Trinity, and I'm going to pillow towards the back. Always leave about a 1 week grow out. This is where your color is going to go. And then I like to keep most of my product when it's a shape like this, because it's a long nail. I keep most of that ball right in the center there so that it continues with a little bit of an arch. So it's just a little bit of a flow. Instead of doing it super flat like you do with short nails, you're just going to add a little bit right there to create the arch. And then look at it, check that it covers the whole nail. Your line of light is good, and freeze for 2 seconds, please.
And
1,
you have a comment.
2, and come out. Okay, go ahead.
And your comments from Jennifer says, thanks for explaining this. My nails have the exact same problem on the side. I'm thinking about this one.
The hook nails, yeah. Hook nails are a bit of a challenge. Most of the time, I will just file them straight so that it'll create a slight coffin. But once you've had color and stuff, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't, and because it's so trendy right now, it's not a big deal. But in her case, she lost that corner, so we're gonna give that back to her. Fix it.
And Jay said, wow, so beautiful. Thank you.
So then after I apply, I look at the front, and the line of light's showing me that there's a little bit in the front that it's every time I do this, I'm always brushing a little bit off the front, because it creates a little bit, I don't know if it's gravity or what, but creates a little bit of a bubble, and I want to keep that thin. 2 seconds. 1, 2. Hi, Jason. We miss you too. Jared thought we should just go up to Maine and visit Jessica and Jason.
Sweet.
Which, you know, we might just go crash a party if I can get your address. That's been a long time. Okay. Again, touch, touch, and pull. Touch, touch, and pull. Gonna grab a little bit more. Touch, touch, and pull. And I'm being very light because I don't want to drag all the product from that arch area. I want to keep that product there. Now, if you look at the line of light, that squiggle that's right here, this is that excess I was talking about. You want to brush that off and put it back in your pot. And once you've removed it, you should see a nice smooth finish. And freeze for 2 seconds. 1, 2. And next one. And we're going to push, giving a little bit of space. You know, a lot of people really think they have to go all the way to the back of the cuticle with this product. You don't need to do that. If you do that, that's one of the things that contributes to that little bit of lift that you saw me have on the thumbs. I had probably gotten those a little bit too close last time. It's not a very major lift. It's just a little hairline. But if I keep my distance, I typically won't have that. And then you also, your color is going to be going back there. And so if you keep that free, then you will get a much smoother transition between their natural nail and their color, because if you have product and then color, you've created that thick at the cuticle. But if your product stops and you can start your color here, then your thickness at the cuticle is much thinner. So you want to just work with that and make that work.
And so Jason said, see you later.
See you later,
And
Jason.
Miss Brooks said, me too. My bestie wears long, soft stilettos, and her C curve is curvalicious. I know that's right. So we deal with hooks all of the time.
Yeah. It's not an easy project, but yes. And you'll definitely see it more on gorgeous women of color. But of course, you guys are the ones that like to wear them long anyway.
Yeah.
So it's hard to gauge on the others because they're shorter. I feel like in general, my ones that are really long and flat are all white girls. And we all have the curvilicious ones.
Okay. See, I'm learning here. This is education. I'm not involved.
Okay, 1, 2. All right, so first I'm going to go ahead and repair this. I'm going to check my form, make sure it didn't move. And again, it's tucked right here, which is where I want, and it touches the free edge of her nail. So first, before I do her fill portion, I'm just going to make sure this is as down as far as it can in that corner, because I don't want to have any notch. Notches are pain. So I'm going to just float some product on right here, and that way I can file the edge of this nail properly when we finish and have the shape correct. And I'm just going to freeze that 2 seconds. And I want this to cure a little bit more before I go over it, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to the next nail, and that way it can continue to cure before I go back and do the second coat on that. So you don't have to wait for it. You know, some people will go, oh, I just have to keep flashing it and curing it, and then I'll do the second coat on there. Just move on. It'll continue to cure while you're doing these other nails, and then you can go back to it. Okay, again, looking at it from the side, you can see that she's got a nice arch in there after I do the fill. So you just want to add enough product that you can get that arch there. I am using Trinity, but you can see her arch right here is like right here. And what I'm doing is moving it back here by adding enough product in this area to create the arch. So a nice good sized ball. Pushing it around the cuticle, leaving my gap. If you touch the cuticle, the other problem is Trinity will just keep running into it over and over and over, and you're chasing it out, and it's extremely annoying. Same thing happens if you let it sit too long. You have to flash cure after each nail. Otherwise, it'll sit too long and it'll run into the cuticle and you will curse it. I cursed it for many moons before I realized that you just have to go with it and flash each nail. It's worth it. You want it to stay where you put it. So now looking at it, do you see how my arch is now moved back here? So that will make sure that you have the correct amount of product.
Okay. Miss Joanne said thank you for answering the question.
You're so welcome, Joanne. So pillow around the cuticle.
I've sat here with you every 3 weeks for 10 years, and I am still mesmerized. When I look at this, like, ooh. And I'm not talking about my nails. I'm talking about the pure artistry, because I'm so uncoordinated and unartistic.
I make it look easy.
Oh, you sure do, because it ain't easy at all.
I was telling someone, I said, yeah, I've had 3 clients that have gone to nail school. And they all still come to me to get their nails done. And 2 of them have nothing to do with nails anymore. I think they realize this is not an easy process and they give up. One's working on trying to make it happen. So,
but they should not try to measure themselves with you.
Well, everyone has their own skill. Like I'm not someone who's going to spend 3 hours doing nail art. It's just not me, you know, and some people will do that and have no problem with it. And I'm like, okay, like I like you and everything, but I'm like, I got to have a reason for this. And if it's for a photo shoot, or a competition, yes, I will do 3 hours of nail art. Yeah. But for regular every day, no. So I'm looking down the barrel to make sure I have a pretty smooth surface. Because you can't really tell as easily as you can with the other nails that don't have that extra on the side. So looking down the barrel, you can see that your surface is smooth. That way when I file the side, the nail's going to be done. So you don't have to finish file the entire nail necessarily, depending on how you are doing it. So again, pillow, 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 pillow. There's a little bubble here. I will grab it. Okay. Then I'm going to keep most of this product right there and then brush down in the front. Grab a little bit more because I want to keep it so that my arch is really starting in the right place, because as the nails grow, you want to make sure that you've got some strength there. And because they're longer, they need an arch a little bit. You know, with nails that are shorter, the majority of our clients, I can do a Trinity overlay and I don't have to worry about an arch at all. It basically can look like a gel manicure. But when they're this long, you need a little bit of an arch if you don't want to see any cracking. So you can see the arch is starting right there and continuing down. Check my line of light. Looks good. And go ahead. And that hand went through full cycle?
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
Because I'm watching the video.
All right, I'm going to get color. So the glitter, I believe, is Fuchsia Dazzle. And I'm going to grab I almost dropped it. Elite for my undercolor. So I had used the color changing Le Chat here, which is this one. So mine on the tips, if it didn't have anything on it, is actually this dark when I'm cold. So when I'm really cold, it looks quite dark. But as I'm warm, it kind of gives that more ombre effect. Do you like my stamping leftovers from yesterday?
Beautiful. Go ahead.
So the tip of these is like this one, but I'm pretty warm right now, so it's looking pretty pink. So, but if you ever feel like they're not changing as much as they should, you could blast them in cold water and it'll change. Some of these need to be, after I've warmed them a few times, need to be blasted in cold water for them to go back to their cold color. So, but these are all the mood polishes and I'm obsessed. And pretty much every client who's gotten them in the last couple of months since I started carrying them has gotten them every time since.
That's cute.
Because once you do it, you're like, oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, you're hooked.
I did this one last night, which was very popular. It's this glittery pink, and it goes to almost a nudie pink, really, really light.
That's tight.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Okay, next time.
All right, so my undercolor, you know what? I'm going to go Sassy.
Oh, yes. I love Sassy.
Sassy is a little bit more pink, which is what I'm going for underneath this to bring out the pinkness. And so we're going to go some Sassy, and then we're going to cover it with this for some fun.
Some Sassy for the Zoom meeting.
Some Sassy. Oh, Jennifer, I remember. I remember you at classes. I always enjoy seeing you. So this is Fuchsia Dazzle. This is the Dazzle collection. All of the Dazzles are beautiful multicolor glitters. And they do last quite a while because you can apply them really thin. If you ever feel like your glitters in the jar are getting too thick, you can always use a little bit of Options Clear, dollop it in, and give it a mix. And that will help make it a little bit flowier for you. I'm going to change my brush. You never want to use the brush you use for fills on glitter. So find one that you've been using for glitter. This one has my little pieces of glitter in it. And switch it, because if you use the same one, then it's going to not flow as well when you go to do your fills. So you want to make sure that you are doing that. So we are using Sassy. It's been on the shelf for a while because it's not been popular, but for the seasons, obviously. But now that we are coming into the summer, I know we'll be doing Sassy again all the time. It's a very, there was a little hair on my brush that needed to go away. Oh, it's still there. Hold on.
And then Miss Jennifer, she says, my nails are just like this client. I was a hand model for Jess in the Akzentz class way back in the day. It's a lot of pressure.
Can you believe I've been teaching Akzentz for like 15 years?
Yeah. This level of perfection, honey, yes, I do.
Crazy.
And then Miss Connie said, hello, beautiful ladies. Hello to you, Miss Connie.
Hello, hello. So for any of my students out there that haven't really gotten, so this one, there's a little bit of gel, the Trinity that ran right into here. That's fine. It's going to be filed out at the very end of the service. For any of my clients that are students and you haven't really been necessarily trained on how to apply polish, the best way is to get your brush and push your gel up towards the cuticle. You don't want to try to get your brush all the way right on top of the cuticle because you'll touch the skin and it'll be a mess. So you actually want to keep your brush with product in front of it. So see, I've got gel in front of it and I'm pushing it towards the cuticle. You don't want to try to get your brush and set it down right on top where the cuticle is. You will make a mess. So if you're new or you struggle with getting your polish close to the cuticle, that is how you do it. You actually are pushing your product up. Sassy is gorgeous. It's a great coverage in one coat, and since we're just going to cover it up with glitter anyway, we only really need to do one coat.
Sorry, Jess. I'm sorry, you all, if you heard that.
We had a fly and shoes.
And I can't move, so... That's funny.
So yeah, so I'm going to be, oh, so she did not get this in the light and keep it in the light very long. So this is what happens if you don't pay attention to your clients. And so she made a bit of a mess out of her Trinity. It's all over the place here and over the place here. So if this happens, this is what I do. Take my bit.
Sorry, Jess.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to read.
Bad client.
I know, I'm trying to read at the same time.
So I'm going to take my bit. And I'm going to come back down just like I was prepping and smooth that out. Okay, same over here. Okay, so what happened was she did not keep it in a full 2 seconds when she did her flash cure. And then she kept it out too long and didn't get it back in the light. So anything that hadn't cured just kept moving. All right, so as you can see, what you can do if you want to see how it feels is use your pusher and go around. And you can feel if your job of smoothing that out was successful. If you feel a ridge still, then you know you need to go back at it. But if you don't feel a ridge, then you can just move on. There's a little bit. There we go. All right, and now I need to check all these because I should have flash cured these before I let it sit sideways for so long. Kind of have to pay attention to everything at once sometimes. But I don't have that often when I have to fix a thumb. But we were chatting. We'll give her a free pass.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then you can just go right over this with color.
The other one is done.
Okay. If you're using a gel polish that doesn't move as much, you have to put it on super, super thin. Typically a solvent gel polish. You might have to be a lot more particular in how smooth you get those corners because you might see bumpiness to it. But again, you're going to cover it with glitter. So This is where you have to weigh in. Is it worth trying to be a perfectionist for something you're not going to see? And when you're going to cover it right with glitter, it's okay. So have to gauge yourself time. All right, so now we're going to fix this one. So here's her new little nail. So I'm going to have her tuck these nails under so I don't get them all dusty. And I'm not going to remove the tacky layer. And the reason is because if I remove the tacky layer on the whole surface of the nail, I have to file the whole surface of the nail. And I don't want to. I just want to file what I need to file and move on. Now, if I have the whole nail needs to be filed, then obviously remove the tacky and then you file, then your file won't get much on it. But, you know, these are single-use files, so I don't care if it gets gel on it because it's just going to go away anyway. And then I'm just going to blend this new side in. Look at it from down the barrel. Looks pretty good. And so now she's got a nail that's coming straight out.
Ooh, look at me.
And it's more square. Did you guys see how that fixed that whole side of the nail there? All right. Okay, you can let go.
Okay, so you see?
That's okay. And now, because all of this was a little bit tacky, there's a little dust on that. It doesn't matter. It's all gel dust. It's going to fade right into your color, so you don't have to worry about that. But if I had removed the tacky and I had to file the whole nail, it would just take me a lot longer. And time is money. You want to spend an extra 5 minutes doing that, an extra 5 minutes doing that. Your service that should be an hour and 15 minutes or so is going to be 2 hours. So next time she comes in, I might do the same thing on this side just because it's starting to really taper in. I typically won't like re-sculpt all the nails. You just kind of look at it one at a time. And so if every time they come in, you kind of fix one side of one nail, you don't have to be, okay, I'm going to have to book a full set or I'm going to have to fix all these extra nails. You have to think, okay, what can I, if I make a mental note next time she comes in, I'm going to add a little bit extra to this side because it, you know, once you've taken the hook away, it's tapering a little bit more than maybe I want, but, or they just all get a little bit more of a coffin shape to them. So you kind of have to gauge based on your own individual client's needs and what's going on with them. But, you know, you're not going to do a full set every time, so you've got to remember that when it's real life nails and not competition nails, what you are going for, which is happy nails.
Right on.
Happy clients. Hope I have enough space on my phone for this long of a video. One of these days I'm going to have to upgrade my phone just because I run out of space. I delete videos. I think I deleted 100 videos, like little clips. They weren't long videos, but they're videos from Dubrovnik. Oh, you know what, though? I haven't actually even posted my Dubrovnik pictures on Facebook from September.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I really should do that because otherwise they'll get lost into the depths of everything. And someday I'll be like, oh, we went to Dubrovnik. I'm like, why is there no pictures online? And they will have disappeared forever. So I really need to plan on that.
Just takes time.
That lovely friend we have called time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little fuzz I'm trying to work off. All right, go ahead and put that in. And here we go with the Dazzle, Ayusha Dazzle.
Yes, and I lifted my thumb up.
So I also have some bigger chunkies right here, which is from my freebie, I believe, that I'm sending out. I think I only have enough to send out today and tomorrow. So if you're ordering today or tomorrow, you'll get this. That's all I have left. is it just enough for a couple more days of orders. But this is the free glitter that I'm sending out right now in the boxes from my website at lovenails.com. But there's some fun pinks in here. They're all holographic, and some hearts, which is great for Valentine's Day. Okay, so this had run a little bit, and I do not like it there because I want my top coat to go in smoothly. So again, I'm just going to use my little bit to smooth that out. Fixed, my friends. That's how easy that is. So fix it before you keep going, and that way when you're finished, you've got smooth cuticle areas. Is this the right one? I think it's raspberry dazzle. Hold on.
Whatever works for you works for me.
I just realized this is a lot more purple than the one that I am wearing. Just a moment. Let me grab my next one. No, I must have used. I think I just applied it so thin, and this is purple underneath, so it's going to be a little different. Which one do you like better?
Let me see.
Now you get to choose.
Oh, don't do Pinky, do this one.
This one, okay. Raspberry dazzle. Okay. All righty.
You better don't do this. Make me choose.
So I'll turn this over so y'all can see which one it is. What is that annoying beeping?
Someone in reverse, but I can't see whom.
I can't see either. Oh. It looks like PUD or something. I think we've got a water leak somewhere under our house because they're charging us so much for water right now. And it's like not even summer. We're not watering plants. We're not doing anything. And it's like they've been saying we've been using more water than in the summer. I'm like, no, you'll have a leak somewhere.
Right.
And you need to fix it because I do not want to pay $300 for water. And then I remembered that we have a well now. And when we moved our house, I can use all the water I want. And no one can charge me a dime.
Right on.
It's like we've paid for our water for the next 10 years at one time.
Yeah.
So I'm just checking this to see how I like it. Oh, yes, very pretty.
Ooh, that's hot. Yes.
So I'm just dabbing this around the sides. And I like to always put a solid color underneath my glitters just because you get a finished line a little bit more than a glitter. Glitters are bumpy, right? So you're never going to get that grow out line to be completely straight across. So by putting that solid underneath, it allows you to make sure that your color is even underneath. So I always like to do that. Even when doing like rockstar toes, when I do same kind of thing where it's a solid, a glitter, and then a chunky, which is what I'll do here. I'll add the chunky to the sides of her nails.
Inside joke. These are my favorite, Jess. Your laugh made me laugh. I was holding my face straight until you laughed.
She says that every time, y'all. Every single time.
Because they are. Now you know I'm going to go home and find your YouTube page because this is too cool.
You know.
I won't watch the ones I'm in. That's just too much. But I want to look at the other ones.
Yeah, I've been slacking. Sometimes I make them many days in a row. Typically, I'll make them a lot more when I get a lot of comments or if people are asking a lot of questions. People stop asking questions. I'm like, no one's asking me questions. They don't need to hear anything.
You need some feedback.
They're not
up
bored.
in here.
I do. Then I feel like I'm doing something that people, value, and it makes a big difference. If they don't really care, then
we need some reciprocity up in here, people. If you want to see more videos, keep talking.
Speaking of reciprocity, the other time I know that word was Chicago. We watched Chicago with Larissa. because she is such a Broadway nut.
Yeah, absolutely.
She knows every song
Uh-huh.
on like every Broadway show in existence. And so she knew all the songs, but she didn't know where they fit in the storyline or any of that. And so watching it with her was really funny because she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's who sings that one. Or, you know, just the storyline of it was, I think she really enjoyed. That was kind of funny. But
I remember when she was little and she sang Les Miserables to me. And, you know,
yes.
of course, I'm not only
It's
impressed
true.
that she can sing it, but the hell that she knew it, because I didn't. I was like, sure.
Yeah. I know that's still one of her favorites is Les Miserables. And she, I have video of her when she was
Little.
6 or
Yeah.
7.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
7 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And she sang it. She got to see it the year we went at Christmas. So that was 2014. We went to Christmas in New York. And I was dying to see it. And my mom wanted to see it. And we didn't have a babysitter. So we were like, guess what? You are going to go see Les Mis. And luckily, you know, at 7 or whatever, she didn't know what half the stuff was, because that's fine. You don't need to know.
Right.
But she would sometimes sing Lovely Ladies in the car. And I'm like, if we go into a store and you're singing this song and you're 7 and people are like, what is your daughter singing? I mean, she don't know. She just thought it was a fun tune. Lovely Ladies, you know. She doesn't know. She's just like, this is a great tune. But
That is cute.
yeah, so she would sing that, which I thought was, I just had to laugh. You know,
Right.
she don't know why I'm laughing, but I'm laughing. But she loved the Broadway show. She really liked Who Am I. At the end of that one, she's like, that was the best song. It's like, all right, that's funny.
That's cool.
All right, so now that I have a coat of glitter on these, I'm going to start with one, because sometimes it gets a little bit too much when you have long nails like this and you put all kinds of chunky glitters and everything.
And let me tell you, Miss Charlene says, hi, Jess.
Hi,
I love
Charlene.
your videos. And Miss Michelle says she loves this color.
Yes, it's a gorgeous color.
It was sassy on the underneath.
Yes, sassy. Sassy and then raspberry dazzle.
Mm-hmm.
So the hearts that are getting in there, I'm just kind of making sure that they are facing somewhat the right direction, but you don't have to. I mean, they're not all facing. They're just kind of zigzaggy.
These are my favorite.
So there she goes. She's got some glitter down the side. And we'll throw up on all of them.
I love it.
You don't have anywhere to be today.
No, not at all. I'm with you.
Sometimes I've got someone right after her, and I have to be a little bit more careful about time and how long things are taking me, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't today. So I gave her some banana bread.
Oh, yeah, we're chilling. We're having a good time.
Yeah. I make good banana bread, y'all.
Superb. And it's in this cute little muffin thingy. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I love the Pampered Chef. Next time someone has a Pampered Chef party and you're like, oh, I feel bad saying no, but I've been a part of 6 Pampered Chef parties this year, that kind of thing, because they pop up on Facebook all the time. Your friends have them, and would you help support me? Well, get their brownie pan. It's a pan with little square holes, and it's perfect size for like little mini banana nut muffins and things like that, or banana chocolate chip in this case.
Before I ate the bread, I told her I don't want to bite it because it's just too cute. It was just adorable.
Yeah, but it
Oh,
tastes better than it looks, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, but they're cute and mini.
So again, this glitter is my free glitter that you get in your orders right now until it's gone, and then I will switch to something else. They're all custom made. Some people have asked me, well, if I just want to buy it, you can't buy it. I make these mixes for orders to give out to my customers, and you can't buy them. So they're one of a kind, only available for a limited time glitters, and then once they're gone, they're gone. So this one is this year's Valentine's one. It's so cute. So it's, you know, people talk about encapsulating glitters and things like that. This is a form of encapsulating in the sense that you're going to be putting gel on top of it. But what I'm going to be using is a little bit thicker gel than I would just a regular top gloss. You can use Trinity or you can use Options Clear. I'll just go ahead and use Trinity again to make things easy for everybody, because if you're new to Akzentz and you're like, there's too many things to buy, too many different kinds of gels, I like to make it as simple as possible and show you guys you don't need every kind of gel. You can do a lot of what I do with a couple of different gels that can become just your staple, everyday staple products. And so there's different gels for different reasons. If you have only an LED lamp, you really can't use the natural pink that I talked about earlier in the video when you're creating a new set of sculptured nails. What you would go ahead and use is the Balance, which is our Performance line thicker gel. Similar viscosity from natural, but so it's a little bit thicker, which is going to allow you to build that arch and build your extension. So you'll want to get Balance if you have only an LED light. If you have a hybrid lamp, you can use both. So there you go. So when you look at it from one side, you're only seeing one thing. I don't like to cover the whole nail with the chunky sparkles because I like to have both show up. But we'll go ahead and let those cure.
Yay.
And I'm going to skip ahead because I honestly don't know how much space I have on my phone. So I'm going to go ahead and top coat this hand and finish this hand up. And then when I get off camera, I'll finish her other hand just so that I don't run short on this video, because I don't want the camera turning off because it says you have no more space. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this one hand, and then I will do the other hand off camera. All right, so after this had about 30 seconds, it's good to go. All the glitters are going to be in place. You can look down the barrel and see if there's any totally sticking up. But for the most part, most of the time when it's sticking up, you'll see it pretty easily. So I'm going to take a good amount of my Trinity, and I'm just going to float it evenly over the nail from side to side, just like I would a fill. And then brush it down. Trinity is very, very shiny, so you can use this for your gloss. It is also non-porous, so if you have a hairstylist, you shouldn't get any staining with this. Okay? And just look at it, look at your line of light, see that everything looks smooth, and we're going to give it a 2-second cure. Okay? And do the next one. So this is your gloss step and your encapsulating step at the same time. So you don't want to go too thick on this. You have to remember that all of this is being filed off every time they come in. So typical encapsulating, sometimes they're putting the encapsulation right down onto the natural nail. And every time they come in, you're literally removing the entire set of nails. I feel like it's a waste of product. And it, you know, sometimes they're going down to the natural nail every time because of that. And it can be damaging. So this makes them a little bit thicker because you do have all of that chunky glitter. But it's chunky glitter. It's what you're going to get. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and freeze that. 2 seconds.
1, 2. There we go.
Next one. A good amount on my brush. Push it back towards the cuticle. This is when you want to make sure you're getting on top of that color as good as possible, without running into the cuticle. If it does touch the cuticle, which I'm sure at some point I will here, you want to make sure right before you put it in to use your orange wood stick to wipe it out. Orange wood sticks are an essential part of life, which is why I sell them, and I find them as cheap as possible so that they're cheap for everybody to buy, because I don't want people not using them because it's an added expense on your service. You need them. They're essential.
And Michonne said, such a beautiful color. I love it.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Thank you. I'm going to be acting up on my Zoom meetings. I'm waving and carrying on.
Praise that. Okay. And the brush I'm using is my 106. This is my regular glossing brush. A lot of people I see, you know, using oval brushes or smaller square brushes, and they're much harder to get a really nice gloss. You want to be able to have this flat as you're gliding it down And if you're using an oval brush with a belly, you can't do that. You really need these square brushes. They are essential to life. But see how they're super flat like that? That's how you're able to get a nice smooth finish. So a good amount. Just going to push up near the cuticle. From one side all the way to the other.
And Aaron said, hey.
Gonna grab a little bit more because I want to make sure I get a good floating coverage. So that's what you need to do. You need to think about this being a floating coverage. You're not dragging through the nail. You are floating over the nail. If you feel like you're grabbing glitter as you go, you're pressing too hard. You don't really even want to be touching the nail when you do this. You want to be floating right over the top. That way you get a nice finish without having a finish file. It's going to save you so much time. Going all the way in. It's really important to do that. So what I used today, I used the Trinity Clear, and I used the 106 brush. I used two of them. I used one for glitter and one for my fill. And this is the one I actually used for glitter. It's pretty clean. There's a little bit of glitter in there, so I typically don't use it for fill, but I use it for my gloss. I used Raspberry Dazzle and good old Sassy, which needs cleaned. The bottle needs cleaned. I'm very excited to do a full bottle cleaning. I'm just giving hers a moment so that it can get a nice full cure, because this is your gloss layer. You don't want to cut the cure time short at all. So you want to do that. These are the Stalex nippers I used. They are the 7mm, so those are nice. And a little free glitter that you'll get if you order right now at Love Nails. So I think that's about it.
Zebra band.
My 2S bit. So if you have one of these and you feel like you've been using gel on it, I do have a brush cleaner. I don't know where I put it. I moved it off my desk when I was cleaning yesterday, and I don't know where I put it. I may have taken it to go clean it elsewhere. But I have a brush cleaner that's like a pink thing, and you put this in it and you turn it on, and it'll go around and clean your bit really nicely before you put it back into disinfectant. So that's really handy to have. Because as you saw, I use gel and stuff on this, so I want to make sure I get the gel out of the diamonds before I put it in my product. My zebra file, this is one that I'm trying. This is actually not the Akzentz ones. I like how coarse it is. It does drop grit more than I'd like, so I don't know that I'm going to carry these ones. But I'm trying different files right now because the Akzentz ones have gotten too fine for me. The company they order from changed their paper.
Okay.
And when you change someone's file, you change your whole life.
Yeah, you change business, baby. Absolutely.
So, all right, that's had plenty of time. So I'm going to give everything a nice good wipe.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll finish this hand here. So I come up underneath. Your gloss sometimes will do that. So you want to make sure that everything is smooth to the front.
And Erin says she misses you.
Aw, miss you too, girl. I wish they wouldn't keep the border locked up for you guys forever. I hope they open up soon. She's up in Canada. Oh, Canada. So making sure that I get everything nice and smooth along the sides. Okay, and then at the very end, I always take my band, or I take a cone bit. So if she had a really deep C curve, I use this cone bit, and that will also get in here. I'll show you what I mean. I'll just use this one today.
Okay.
So this is a carbide cone bit, and I want to crank up the speed pretty well because I don't want it catching and making it around the world. Typically, the around the world problem that people have is too low of a speed. That ends up reducing the control when you're doing this, and sometimes people will go around. I have done it many times, and I've learned that if I make my speed high enough, it doesn't happen as often. So you want to do this. It will take away bulk. It'll take away the natural nail right on the free edge, which eliminates curling. So if you have a problem with natural nails curling and separating from your product, You're not doing this. You need to do this. I've so many people that are, I watch your videos all the time, but I don't know how to fix this. And then I'm like, you're not following my videos to the end.
You're not paying attention.
Yes, the end of the video is just as important as the middle. And that step, when I learned that, saved so many repairs and problems, because when people get that tip separation, that is when they will pick at their nails and pull at them, which causes more lifting and nails popping off and breaking. So it is absolutely essential that you do that. Okay?
Stacy loves the color, and Miss
Plus,
Beth said genius.
when you look at the front, if I can get these, where am I at? If you look at the free edge, then they also look quite a bit thinner. And when you consider how much glitter is on there, making them look thin on the free edge is essential. So you want to use that bit to make the free edge nice and thin, okay? All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the other hand, but I wanted to show you how these turned out. I think they turned out gorgeous.
They're my favorite.
So I'll take a nice video or picture of these when we're all done. And hopefully this is some inspiration for you guys for the holidays. And if you want this chunky glitter, make sure you place your order in the next couple days, because once it's gone, it's gone. So we wish you all a happy weekend. And in honor of my husband, everybody needs to root for the Packers this weekend.
Isn't that sweet?
Because let me tell you how happy he's going to be if they go Super Bowl.
I know.
So everyone becomes Packer fans this weekend if your team's out, okay? All right. What was your finish bit? So the one that I just used under the free edge is a cone. I want to say that this is a medium. It's either the medium or coarse. I have these on my website. I think they're just called blue cones. And it's just a carbide cone bit, and that gets under there really nice. And because it goes to a little bit of a taper, if someone has a really tight C-curve, it really can even get under their pinky. So this is a really nice one for finishing under the free edge. So thanks for the question, Stacy. And for all you on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe. Hit the little subscribe button, which I think is like, I don't know, right there. I don't know. And hopefully we'll catch you next time. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.